Good day and welcome back to another DB Legends video. In this video I'm going to talk about the Tournament of Power build for Season 106. No specific reason, I just wanted to try my hand at being better at Tournament of Power, and I thought what's a better way than forcing myself to do a video on Tournament of Power every season. That way I will just basically give myself an excuse to take it very seriously and score more Chrono Crystals. So it's a double-edged, very successful sword, hopefully. Now, if we look at Tournament of Power, you need to understand a couple of things. I do have a video on the basics of Tournament of Power, but Tournament of Power is one of those game modes that has a lot of nuance to it that you only really access if you spend time getting invested in the game mode. It seems on the surface level like, oh, it's just putting units in a team and having them auto-battle, but it's not. There's actually quite a bit of change and nuance to the team building, and especially the selecting of your path, adjusting your characters for buffs, etc. So first thing that we need to know is that tiers. You want to have units that are in the higher tiers, but generally those are weaker, older units. So you need to generally choose a team or build a team around Zenkais, older categories. You generally want your team you're using for Tournament of Power to be a team that would have been good, let's say, about 6 months, 10 months ago. It sounds very weird and backwards, but it's where your scoring is going to meet your team efficiency and stats the most. Second most important thing to know is that all the units' kits and abilities are super simplified for Tournament of Power. So it's not like you're going to be having, for example, super duper buff versions of your characters using their full kit, their full makeup, their full nullification, this, anti-rising rush, that. Like, it's just not how the game mode works. So when you're picking your team, something to favor is units with high stars and units with Zenkai. So when you are doing your team and you're building your team, try to favor units that have high stars for you and Zenkai. So for example, if you're picking between two purple cells, which I'll be for my powerful opponent team, I recently got the new Legends Limited Perfect Cell, well, the one from a couple months ago, but he is only at like 3 or 4 stars. That's not going to be as good as my Zenkai Purple Cell, who is at like 8 red star. That's just to kind of highlight, obviously, a bit of the difference between the units. So I'm going to be building a powerful opponent team and constructing myself around that. Something also important to take note of is that you, generally speaking, do want at least one Ultra in your team. The reason being is Ultras have their own Tournament of Power abilities. So if you're looking to really peak in Tournament of Power, then having an Ultra that's going to have bigger stat gain is going to be a good call for you, which is why you'll see me running the green Ultra Super Saiyan Goku Rose. So in terms of my team, I'm going to be running a powerful opponent team. So again, another thing to keep mindful of, you want at least one of each of the 5 types. So we want to have Goku Black, we want to have we want to have a purple unit, want to have a green unit, want to have a red unit, want to have a blue unit, want to have a yellow unit. Ideally, at least one of each. You can have 2 of each. Obviously, you will have double of one type. If you're struggling to find like a really good yellow, but you have, for example, 2 really good purples and 2 really good blues, you can get away with it. But ideally, you've got one of each type. When placing your units on the board, remember a lot of their abilities work in a square shape around them. So for example, if I am looking, my center unit, so that is the units in the center circle, and especially the unit in the center, will benefit almost from every ability that you place on the board. So no matter where you place a unit, your units in the middle columns tend to benefit the most, and the one in the center column will benefit from every ability. So it's important that the unit you have in the center column is your best unit from a stat point of view and from a star point of view. So make sure that unit is basically your number 1 choice. He's your premium guy. You want him to be buffed as much as possible. For that reason, that's why you'll see me placing Cell in that slot, because he's very high red stars. I could also have put Corrupted Zamasu as well. He was under the consideration as well. You'll see I'm using purple Goku Rose. This is because of his Legends Limited status and his Zenkai I have pretty high up. although there are some better purple options out there. And then on top of that, I'm using blue Broly to round things out. Again, there are some better blue options, and I've got yellow Zenkai Broly, largely because of the high stars. And then also I have, of course, him fully Zenkai, so that's great. Now with not having Zenkai soul boosts, having your unit Zenkai is not such a massive issue. Alright, so let's talk about choosing nodes. I'm going to stick to the right hand side of the map. Generally you want to fluctuate between 4-star fights and 3-star fights for the most part, definitely picking up 5-star boss fights. And then later on, after you get past the first boss fight, you want to stick to only 4 and 5-star fights. If you can, always choose a 4-star, basically, is kind of the way to go. 5-star fights, especially early on, can chip away at your health a bit too much, and you can score a lot greater with them later on if you keep your health up. When moving from spot to spot, you need to change your team. You will see nodes that will heal your characters. Put your character with low health in that node. You need to also be mindful that characters that are alone in the node will take a lot of damage, so try not to do that. Try to keep 2 as a pair in each node where possible. Try to also sustain buffs as well where you need to, but generally speaking, if you just switch around and be mindful of health restoration, you'll be fine. You don't have to follow a distinct guide for that. Obviously, if you're looking to be the best in the world, you're going to have to take it super seriously, but generally speaking, that's a good way to go. I didn't have enough stamina to finish the whole run, but I will finish up basically going 4-star, 5-star, 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 and then finishing 5-star. Should be fine for my team. I think they'll get through more than fine. If you need any more help, you can ask in the comments, but that is my build. Good luck.